Hello friends, today we are going to see important practical for paleontology set 1. So up till now we have seen the minerals and the rocks. So this is the last part of the FIBSc practical, that is the fossils. So here we have been divided this paleontology part into two categories, part 1 and part 2. So in this part 1 we are going to see phylum Mollusca and class Lamellibranch, gastropods and cephalopods. So these three classes we are going to see, because whenever you are going to see any particular fossil, we require some background, that is the theory required. So in one practical it will not possible to complete all this particular fossils. So we have been divided this practical into two sets, set 1 and set 2. Now just see, now in this practical what we are going to see, that is the phylum Mollusca, and in that class Lamellibranchium or Pelosepida if we call it as, and in that we are going to see Arca, Unio and Pecten. How you are going to identify these three fossils from the class Lamellibranchia, Arca, Unio and Pecten. Similar, after this one, the next what we have is the phylum Mollusca, class Gastropoda. From there we are going to see the two specimens. One is Turritella and second one is Physa. And the third what we are going to have the class is a Cephalopoda, and in that we are going to have the Nautilus and Ceratite. So here we are going to see now the seven fossils: Arca, Unio, Pecten, Turritella, Physa, Nautilus, and Ceratite. So this is what we have, a practical what we are going to make out. So first we have to see that phylum Molluscas, what we have right from the, if you see the geological and geographical distribution, most of this one they are found all the parts of the world, and right from the Paleozoic to the present they are there. So the number of population which are there, that were number of species which are there, as per this will, some will decrease, some will increase, so that will be there. So in practical we don't have to bother about what we have, the geological geographical distribution is there, but simple we should know such little bit part, that what will be the classification. So here we have just taken the two part, one is phylum and the class, rest one you have to see the right from the plant kingdom, then the or animal kingdom, then you have to come back this part. So that will be there. So first we are going to see now the Lamellibranch. What are the Lamellibranch? So here I don't have the chalks and board, so I can show you the details which are required. So whatever the phylum Mollusca and class Lamellibranch is there, in that we have the two walls. Say example, this is one wall and this is two wall. If you join these two walls, they're exactly matched together. So when these are matching together, then these walls are called as equiwall. These are the equiwall. So they are the biwalls, but both are perfectly going to match. So this is your biwall. Clear now? This is the first simple term about this. What we have is the about this fossil, that is the, it is the biwall. The second one, if you take the single one digit, what we are going to make out, the single one, internal one, and if you draw from this top to the bottom, if you draw a line, then what is going to happen? Once you divide this one, it is not going to divide symmetrically. You can see now here in this particular diagram, we have shown you a vertical line we have drawn from your dorsal to the ventral. This is called as dorsal side. This is called as ventral side. That also we are going to see now, the what are the parts are there. So dorsal side to the ventral side, if we draw, you will find out here we have a peak is there. That is called as umbo, but this side it is not there. This is there, that is the adductor muscle impression. Here also is there. But what is happening? Shape is not going to divide symmetrically. The two halves are not mirror images. Then this particular shell is called as, it is inequilateral. So here the two important terms we have seen, that the whatever the Lamellibranch shell is there, it is the two walls. Yes, and in these two walls, whichever the wall which is coming on your left hand is the left wall, and whichever on your right hand side is there, it is the right wall. So left wall and the right wall, that is one, that is the two walls both are equal, they are fitting exactly matching together. And if you draw from dorsal to the ventral, vertical line, imaginary line, it is going to divide the crystal into asymmetry. Yes, symmetry is not there, then it is inequilateral. The shell is inequilateral. Now we'll see the next one, what we are going to have. If you join your two hands, if you join the two hands, you'll see now here we have depression, then we have the elevation, again here the depression. Exactly the same way here we have a diagram. So no need to remember this diagram for Lamelley branch. Your hands are best one to show you all the detail which are there. So the whichever the wall which is coming on your left hand side, it is a left wall. Whichever the wall is coming on your right hand side, it is a right wall. This is clear. Now the next one, if you measure in the center from left to the right, a distance, if you measure, it is the thickness or breadth of the shell is there. That is called as the breadth of the shell is there. And if you measure from the top to the bottom, that is from dorsal to the ventral, it is the height of the shell. This is called as the height of the shell. And if you measure from anterior to the posterior, if you whichever the umbo pointing is there, that is the anterior side. And umbo pointing, say example, if you hold this hand, umbo is pointing this side, so this is your anterior side, this is your posterior side. So anterior side to posterior side, if you measure the distance, it is the length of the shell. This is the height and this is the length. Now these are how many we have seen? Equiwall, this is 1 point. Second point is inequilateral. Third point, left and right wall, yes, that we have seen. The next one, dorsal, ventral, anterior, posterior. So whatever these points we have seen, these points will be useful when you are going to make out in the theory, distinguish between or give the similarities and dissimilarities between the Lamelley branchia and brachiopod shell. So there are the total 16 differences, similarities, dissimilarities are there. Out of this, you can get now in this diagram itself, you will get 6, 7 easily can find out. So similar one, you have to draw the diagram on this side and one by one, both the side you have to mention. So that question generally in the FY BSc, we examiner is going to ask for 8 marks or it is going to ask for 16 marks. But now it has been gone now. So now it is credit system has come down to FI BSc. So there will be the question pattern has totally changed. So it will be coming for 8 marks or it may come for 5 marks. So we remember. And the second one, what is the definition inequilateral, equilateral, that also comes. So you have to be remember now. So now the next one, what we're going to see, when you close your two hands, you'll see there are the whatever you are going to see now, these are the parts which are there, you are going to see that parts. So here the first one, whenever you're going to first depression is there, that is called as lunule. The next one, the elevated portions, two elevated portion on the left and right, these are the umbos. The elevated portions are there, these are the umbos. Again there is a depression, it is called as eschaton, and there is a line of contact between the left and right wall. It is called as plane of commisuture. Commisuture is called as the plane of commisuture, where the two planes are joined together along the hinge line. So you can see now the hinge line, that is we have been mentioned here, the plane of suture. Then lunule is there. Yes, why hinge line? Because along the hinge teeth, these have been packed together, joined together. So opening and closing will be there with the help of muscle impressions, and along the hinge line they have been tied towards the dorsal side, and from the ventral there will be closing and opening of the shell is there. So hinge line will be there. Similarly, it will also called as plane of commisuture. If you make the complete plane, then it is called as plane of commisuture. Left wall, right wall. This is the thickness or breadth of the shell. Then this is a lunule, umbo, these two, eschaton. Yes, the labeling is given on this side. Yes, so these are the various parts. So these are the important thing. But in the theory, you have to remember this one. You have to draw the diagram. You have to mention this one. I'm taking the simultaneously theory as well as practical. So in the practical, what we have to see, you have to recognize the fossil and you have to give the classification, range, and you have to draw a diagram, label diagram. That is very, very important one. So whichever ARCA, pecten, is given from this Lamelley branch, you have to draw the diagram and you will label it out. So for this, the theory is a very, very essential is there. So these diagrams are you have to be remember properly now. The next one, see here, if you take the external and the internal, yes, both the walls we are going to make out the comparison. Externally, you can see now there is the lines parallel to the ventral margin. This is the ventral margin. This is the dorsal side. Umbo is there on the top, and parallel to the ventral margin, these are the lines are there. These are called as growth lines are there. These are at the same time, there will be vertical lines are there in the fossil also, that is the shells also, the radiating one. So we'll see the difference what is between the fossil and the shell also. Then whether concentric line, radiating line, sometimes spine is there coming out from that, wherever the intersection of the growth line and the radiating line from the spines will be coming out. So that will be there. So that is the what we have the external view. But the internal, that is a very important one. Here, that is in the theory part, you describe the various describe the hard parts of lamellibranch branch. This is the question is there. The earlier three diagrams and this diagram is very important one. Now the next one, if you see now the anterior to the posterior, if you make it out this one, this is the length of the shell. Dorsal to ventral, if you make out, this is the height of the shell. We have seen earlier one in the earlier diagram, these two important parts. Now I can see towards the dorsal side. What we have on the dorsal side, umbo. Remember, whenever you are going to pointing out, the umbo is there. And wherever the umbo is pointing out, that is your anterior side. This is the anterior side, and this will become your posterior side. You can see the hinge line is there on this. Grooves and sockets will be there. So we'll see that also, hinge line. Then there will be the umbo is there. Then the ligaments are there. Now these are the not hard parts. We are not going to make out this part, but now here what we have is a very important one. In that particular shell inner side, we are going to have the muscle scars. These are the muscle impressions, and depending upon whether they are number in one, number two is there, so they are equal size or unequal size. We have monomyria, dimyria. So like this, the name will be given. Heteromyria, isomyria. These are the names are there on the muscle impressions. But now in this particular diagram, you are going to see the two muscle impressions. And whichever the muscle impression which is present towards the anterior side, then that particular muscle impression is called adductor, anterior adductor muscle impression. Whichever the muscle impression coming your posterior side, posterior adductor muscle impression. And these two are joined by a line, a groove line is there, and which is running parallel to the ventral margin. And once it is coming towards the posterior side, a Z-like curvature you are going to see now. Yes, that shape is there. That will called as the pallial sinus. This is the pallial sinus, and the rest one it is called as pallial line, which is running parallel to the ventral margin, which is joining the anterior and posterior muscle impressions. So this is what we have, the internal parts of the what we have the lamellibranch shell. I can see here again with the diagram, growth lines have been shown, height has been mentioned, length has been mentioned. You can see now umbo, it is very clear, hinge line is there, and these are the two muscle impressions. Yes, this is what we have, the pallial sinus. This is the pallial line, ventral margin. So again with the diagram, I try to show you that these are the important things here to be remembered, and it will be required in your theory as well as in the practical. Now this is the first fossil or shell we are going to, we have the shell. Now there is a difference. There are the three important definitions are there. What is the shell? Shell is the organic remains of the hard part of the organism in which the animal is living. Say example, this is one wall and this is another two wall. So between these two hard shells, animal is living. Once the animal is dead, then it has been decomposed, but the hard part will remain. These are the shell which contain the or whatever its original composition, whether it may be a calcite, normally it is will be a calcium carbonate will be there, and slowly it is deposited by the sediments. It is reacted with the water, and slowly one by molecule, the calcium carbonate is dissolved in the water, carried out, and from the sediment, fine sediment will be silica will going to replace. Slowly, it is completely replaced by the silica, but whatever the external and internal characters are there, they have been preserved. Then instead of calling as a shell, we call it as a fossil. But sometimes what is happening, it is a very rare. That will be a separate video we have. That is the introduction, then the fossil condition for fossilization, parameters for good quality of fossils. Then the next one, types or modes of preservation of fossil and uses of fossil. So the next one in that what we have is the cast. If you don't have the fossil as well as the shell is not there, then with the clay we are going to prepare a morphology. A model will be prepared, and on that external clay we are going to show you the whatever the features which are there we are going to see externally in that particular clay material, then that will be called as cast. So here you are going to study all the three. First one, shell, the original composition of the hard part of the organism. Second one, you're going to get the fossil, completely replaced by the silica. It will take a long time. Process will be there. That will be the petrification or silicification that we have been going to see in the modes of preservation. And third one, if you don't have these two, then we can prepare with the help of the clay. A model will be prepared, and on that we are going to show you the morphology. Now ARCA, what we have in our lab is the shell. ARCA is the shell is there. So that will be in the next slide I'm going to show you. Here I shown you because here we require the what are the various parts are there. So ARCA, what is there? This much classification we require. Phylum Mollusca, class Lamellibranch, and what we have the genus is ARCA, and the range is Triassic to present. So this ARCA is now started its age. Say example, my date of birth is 1962. Yes, so whichever I am going to date now, that period I can mean. So that will be my range when I have a birth and I am going to extinct. So the range is given Triassic to present. So this particular, that also we are going to see the what we have the geological time scale. But now here you have to be remember about this Triassic. This will be contain half mark. Remember, if you don't write the range, then your marks will be deducted. And if you don't write each part, phylum or class you are not written properly, half marks will be deducted. The next one, the description is given. This description is theoretical one, so that whenever you're going to see the shell, you have to see what are the written in that. So these are the things you are going to write down in the journal. But at the same time, when you're going to study them, theory sometimes you don't have. Sometimes what is happening, the practical and theory is going simultaneously. Sometimes when this practical comes out, your theory has not been covered. So that time you will be may having a problem. So for this one, this is the part will be given so that you can with the reference you can study that particular shell. So here what is happening, first important description, it is a shell. It is a contain its organic part. Yes, whatever the composition of the hard part is there, it is the original one, calcium carbonate. Second one, equivalence. Both are equal. Yes, both the walls are equal. Third one, calcareous one. If you draw a vertical line, it is inequilateral. Yes, that is the next point. Hinge line, you can see now, it is a straight. Yes, with a numerous small unequal transfer teeth. So here we have number of teeth and sockets are there. So when you grooves and sockets are more in number, then what is happening? The size will be reduced. For example, in a class, there will be a bench capacity is there of a 50 students. So in one bench, two students can be sit. But now instead of 50, students has come over there 80. So what is happening? One more student is going to sit. So whatever the space for sitting for one person is there, now it will be divided now. What is happening? Wherever the students are sitting on one chair, now third is going to sit. So size will be reduced. So here teeth are more, size will be reduced. So that is called as texodont. That is the different types of don'ts are there. Hinge lines are there. So that is in that don'ts are there. That is called as dentistry. That is the dentist part will be there. So that will we going to make out the separate theory we are going to have, and that we are going to see. Or here itself we can see now whenever teeth are more in number, size are small, it is called as texodont. The next one is a caesodont. cease means decrease. Number of teeth and sockets are decreased on both the wall, left wall as well right wall. Yes, so what is happening? Say this is the left wall. Grooves and sockets are there. Here also groove socket. So what is happening? The left and right grooves and socket fixed together, and towards the dorsal side, it is tightly packed together and opening and closing from the ventral margin. And whatever the muscle impressions are there, they are helping in closing and opening of the shell from the ventral side. So that will be there. So here the hinge line, grooves and sockets are there. If they are more in number, yes, more in number and smaller in size, it is called as texodont. Once the number has reduced, then size will be increased. Then it is a caesodont. And all are same in size. Yes, all are more or less same size, isodont. That is called as all are equal in size. Number is small. Yes, means the tooth and sockets are less, but the volume, the size is big, but they are more or less same. Then it is isodont. One bigger, one is smaller. Heterodont. That is called as heterodont. Then the next one is desmodont. Yes, size is go on reducing now. Yes, but nothing. Instead of say example, a child is there, just it is having a 7 or 8 months is there. Now it is slowly having a gum. Yes, and now it is started slowly the teeth are coming out. So that is the whatever one or two, three teeth are coming on the front side. That will give you the desmodont. But that is also not there. Only the gum line is there. That is a diso. So here we have the texodont, caesodont, isodont, heterodont, desmodont, and disodont means nothing is there. So these are the hinges are there. So separately you can see the photographs. So whenever I'm going to make out a theory, in that I'm going to make out the systematic diagram. But here we are just verbally seeing these types of hinge line. And in the muscle impressions, whenever the two muscle impression, it is called as dimyeria. Whenever two muscle impression, it is a dimyeria. Both are equal, then we don't call dimyeria. We call isomyeria. Both are equal. Both are two in number and both are equal in size. Isomyeria. One is bigger, one is small. Then it is the heteromyeria. Yes, the first one, dimyeria, both are equal. Isomyeria, one bigger, one is small. That is the heteromyeria. And whenever we have one, it is the monomyeria. So monomyeria, dimyeria, isomyeria, and heteromyeria. So remember, these are the words you have to use for the muscle impressions. So might be in the examination, the examiner may going to ask you in the theory that give the dentist or dentistries or hinge lines in the lamellar branch or give the muscle impressions of the lamellar branch shell. So these are the systematically one line. You have to describe it out about this particular definition of each part. So hinge line is texodont. Umbo is a prominent, whichever the thing is there. Umbo, which is there on the top on the dorsal side. This is the prominent one. Adductor muscle impressions 2. Yes, you can see now. Dimyeria. Yes, dimyeria. They are not equal. That is the, they are not been mentioned. Dimyeria or isomyeria, heteromeria, what dimyeria is mentioned. Ventral margin, you can see dented, means small, you can see this crenulated margin is there. So that is the important one. Dented. Failure line is simple. Yes, very simple, smooth line is there. This much description, and in the examination, in the practical, you have to identify this shell, you have to write down the classification, and you have to write down very important range and draw a neat label diagram and label the parts properly now. Yes, see now, whenever use properly at one side, you have to start. Yes, so haphazardly don't make on the upper side, lower side. The examiner should be impressed. On one page, you have to write only two spots. Yes, whenever this is the spotting is there. So whenever the spotting is there, write systematic, and between the two spots, make the lines. So examiner impress left margin, right margin. These are the important things. Every time we have been telling you, but in the examination, you have been under terrible sphere. If you are know everything, but now here and there looking into out that you are going to make out your own answers, scratch it out, write down the other one what is written, or somewhere in the on that tray itself we are going to write down. These are the things that shows that you are not confident, you are not done properly that practical. If you handle 2 3 times and just discuss with your friends what is the name, what will be the phylum, what is the tell me what is the name of that hinge line or muscle impression, where is the umbo is present, where is the ventral margin is there, where is the dorsal side, where is the anterior side, where is the posterior side. These things, if you 1 or 2 times enough, 5 minutes are more than enough. If you do it this practical 1 or 2 times, more than sufficient. Nowadays I'm preparing due to this COVID-19 now pandemic, now college is closed, and preparing the videos. Whenever you have this practical, after that this video is there with you. 1 or 2 times you can go through this one, you'll get thoroughly that you may experience that you have been doing this practical. So this is the way you have to handle. So this is the first, what we have is the shell arca from the family Lamellibranch branchia. So here again, this is what we have, our fossil arca is there, and I have drawn the diagram, the same labeling which has been mentioned here. Yes, the next one, we have the next one, Unio. Yes, the phylum Mollusca, class Lamellibranchia, and genus is Unio, and the range is Triassic to present. There also Triassic to present. Here also we have Triassic to present. So the common you can see now. What are the common things are there? Only thing is that the genus is going to change. Rest one is remain same. Now what is happening here? The first time you're going to see the shape is oval. Now you can see the oval shape is there. Elongated one. Yes, it is elongated one. Umbo pointing. Yes, it is umbo is pointing towards the anterior side. So this is anterior side. This is the dorsal side. Opposite is ventral, and opposite to the anterior, this side is the posterior. So adductor muscle, how many are there? 2 are there. So dimedia. One is towards anterior side, one is towards posterior side. And pallial line is again a simple. It is the pallial sinus, posterior adductor muscle impression, anterior adductor muscle impression, hinge line is straight, umbo. Yes, these are the parts. This is the way you have to identify the shell, and you have to write down the classification and draw a neat label diagram. Again, I have shown you, this is the what we have in the practical. These are our specimens are there, Unio, and this is you have to write down the draw the diagram, and you have to label out. The next one is the pecten. Phylum Mollusca, class Lamellibranchia, and genus is pecten. And again, now this time we are going to see the range has changed. Pliocene to present. You can see the word P, pecten. Yes, the name. So see that wherever you are going to write down that where you struck that pecten is there, so it should be a Pliocene. This is where you have to remember. Present everywhere, all the three has a present. Only thing here we have the Pliocene is there. So Mollusca phylum, class Lamellibranchia, then genus is pecten, and Pliocene to present. This is you have to identify. Once you identified this one, you have to write down this classification, and you have to draw a diagram, and you have to label the parts. Yes. So here shell is equivalent. Yes, the Lamellibranch is equivalent. The calcareous one, because it is the original composition, in equilateral. These are the points are there. Hinge line is straight. You can see now. This is the hinge line is straight, and well developed wings like a projections. These are the two wings are there. Yes, ears are there. So the labeling also we call them as a ear, or we call them as a auricle. Yes, sometimes both will be equal, sometimes the one is bigger, one is smaller, but these are the auricles. Two auricles are there, or ears are there. You have to remember, this is the very important identification for the pecten is they have the auricles or ear, and only one muscle impression is there. Yes, a central triangular ligament pit is there. Yes, central triangular ligament pit is present. Adductor muscle is one towards the posterior side. This is the way you are going to have the posterior side adductor muscle is there. That is called as monomyria. Pallial line is simple. Hinge is isodont. Yes, whatever the teeth are there, more or less same size. So this is the isodont. Yes, you can see the diagram now here. One is your external view, another one is internal view. We will see now the external view is here we have the radiating lines are there, and these lines, once they are the double one, it is called as pellicates. Yes, a single line radiating one, but these are the double ones. Sometimes the spines are also there. You can see the auricles are very clear. Umbo is here. Yes, and now in the internal view, you can see the ligament pit, ears or auricle is there. You have this particular part is your adductor muscle impression, pallial line, yes, and here we have the line which is there, dentate, the dendrites are there. It is not a smooth one. So this is what we have, the last one, that is what we have seen. Here we have seen the three shells we have seen, Arca, Unio, Pecten. These are the phylum Mollusca, class Lamellibranchia, and genus Arca, Unio, and Pecten. Yes, this is again you can see now. See the radiating lines. Yes, radiating lines are there. Growths which are there. You can see very different. We can have the ornamentations are there. Yes, next one is a very important one. Phylum Mollusca and class Gastropoda, and it is the coiling. Yes, here we are going to see a coiling has been taken place along the single axis. Along the vertical axis, there is a coiling is there, and this coiling is called as whorl. And this whorl, the body is divided into two parts. Whichever the part where the animal is living, aperture is there, that part is called as the body whorl. Where from this part to this end, this will be called as the body whorl. Yes, this is the body wall or last wall, but body wall is the suitable we are going to use. And where the rest one, the chambers are there, these are called as spiral wall. So the animal as the shell is divided into two, spiral wall and body wall. And wherever we have the apex is there, this is the starting point. It is called as apex, or it is called as a protoconch. It is called as, in the paleontology, we given the name as a protoconch. And when the coiling has taken place, you can see the two coiling, when it is joined together, here we get a line, a contact between the two whorl which will be there, that will be called as the suture. And when you're going to make a one whorl, you can see now from this end to this end, or this will be the another one. So this is the one whorl when you're going to make out. Now this is the aperture where the animal is living. This is the outer limb. This is the inner limb. And here we have the siphungal canal is there. So this is the parts of that particular class gastropod. Now whenever can have the, here can see more or less the body whorl and the spiral whorl, more or less the same. But now we'll see in when we are going to see the two important one is shell and one is fossil. That is the Physa, we have a fossil, and Turritella, we have a shell. So these are the two representative from the gastropods we are going to study. So in that we are going to see now in one place the spiral whorl is greater than the body whorl. Yes, spiral whorl is greater than the body whorl, and if you draw a line joining all the whorls from left to the right, you'll find out the acute angle is there. And when the body whorl is bigger, spiral whorl is small, and if you draw the line, the angle will become the obtuse angle. That is there. So we will see one by one that part also. Yes, you can see now wherever we have the coiling is there, center part, you can see now. If you make the cutting now, here we have the columella. This is the one along the column. This is the coiling has taken place. Yes, then that is called as axis of coiling. Columella will be called as, and this is the various leaves will be there, and that will be filled by the air. Whenever the animal want to float, he will suck the air inside, so it will be float on the water. And if you want to go down, he will, what is happening, he will be take out the water, take out the air, and he will be feel the water, slowly he will go down. So heavier one, this is the way the animal when it is living, this is the phenomena which has been taken place by the living gastropods. So you can see the various shapes are there. Here we can have the shape is there along the single plane. There is a coiling is there. That is called as penny spiral coiling. Yes, that is the coiling is penny spiral. Yes, you can see now here we have the one small triangle and this is a big one. This is what we have the body wall. This is spiral wall. If you draw the line from this end, you will get obtuse angle. And this is what we have the turritella. If you draw a line from this end to this end, we'll get the acute because the spiral wall is a bigger one. And here we can get the cap like a structure. Yes, yes, here we have the cap. Patella, this is there. That is the fossil shell is there. So if you just hold this one, you will find out it is look like as a cap. So there will be various shapes of coiling is there. Sometimes you can find out the whatever the aperture is there, which is coming on your right hand side, and in some it is coming on the left hand side. So dextral and sinistral coiling is there. Yes, this is what we have. Sample from our department now. We have a glass model, and this is the photograph which has been taken by my students, and they have sent it from the department because this video I'm preparing from preparing sitting in the US. So I don't have the sample because COVID pandemic is there, so department is closed. So they have gone and they have taken the photographs and they have sent me the various fossils, rock, mineral photograph, and on the basis of that we have prepared a virtual practical as well as the theory. Some part will of the theory we are conducting. Now here can see this is the turritella. This is what we have the last wall, body wall, aperture is there, siphonal canal, and you can see this is the sutures which are there. Can this sutures are there? Somewhere it is simple is there, somewhere it is grooved, somewhere elevated, and sometime the spines are also coming out. You can see now here on the from there nodes are coming out. Yes, that will be there. Sometimes spines will be coming out. So varieties are there. You can see, and if you take the cross section, you can find out columella is there. This is what we have. The columella section. Yes, various shape is there that will see. This trochus is there, triangle exactly. Yes, whatever we have the triangle like what we have the tetrahedron. Yes, if we keep the tetrahedron on a surface, you'll find out that trochus is there. So these are the various parts will be there. So yes, you can see now how it is going to modified, how it has been evolved, overlapping has been taken place. Yes, again now I can see this it is coming on the right hand side, it is the dextral. When it is coming on the left hand side, that is the sinistral one. Yes, from here, from this phylum mollusca class gastropods, we are going to see a turritella. First one, shell is there, turritella. Both are the specimen. Any one will be kept in the department. So at the time of examination, so you have to see both the specimens. No need that only one you have to handle. You have to handle the both one. Both will show the like little bit differences there. So we have to write down phylum mollusca, class gastropoda, then genus turritella, and now see the range Cretaceous to present. Cretaceous to present, they are there. So what is there? Wall is uniwall. It is usually turreted shape. Yes, coiled along one axis. Turreted. Wall slightly convex. Spiral wall is very long. Yes, as compared to the body wall. You can see this is the body wall. As compared to this, this is a very big. You can see now. The spiral wall is big as compared to the body wall. That going to make you acute angle when you join the two lines from right from body wall to the from the nuclear wall on the top. We'll find out the angle which is made by it is acute. So that is also we have mentioned in the theory. Aperture entire without any notch. The holostromus, you don't have to be see holostromus, that will be not there. So no need to remember. Suborbate shape will be there. Imperforate. Yes, there is no dots are there on that particular shell you are going to see. It is not perforated. So perforated will be the best one you are going to see in the foraminifera. Yes, whether it is the Globogerina, Globogerinoids, in that it is the best one. So when you come into the SY, then you will have this particular microfossils. Though in that you are going to see the perforated or imperforated test will be there. Without any umbilicus is not there. You can see the various parts. Body is divided into two: spiral whorl and body whorl. Apex, or it is called as nuclear whorl or protoconch. Then suture line, then suture ridge, there will be the ridges will be there, outer limb, inner limb, aperture. So these are the parts will be there. So but here we have to remember Cretaceous to present. This is the Turritella will be there from Cretaceous to present. Yes, again the same one diagram will be there, which will be given. Nothing will be changed. Yes, wall, suture, growth line, aperture. Only the shape will be changed in that. These are the specimen from our department. So you can see how they are there. Turritella. Yes, this is what we have the FISA. We are giving you this one. We are not giving you this one in the practical because one has already broken now. So we have to take care. It is a very costly. We not easily available. Yes, whatever the fossils are there, to get this fossil you have to search for a very lot, because whatever the record, as per the record what we have, if 1 million means 10 lakh plants or animal is dead, from there only we get one fossil. So it is a very scanty record is there. So that we have been discussed in the last separate video, but that is a very rare one is there, and whole geological time scale will be constructed on the two important tool. One is the rock and second one is fossil. And wherever the gaps we have made, the demarcation we have done, that demarcation has been done with the help of the unconformities. The profound unconformity, wherever we have found, we have divided the division. So this is way up to a small scale we have gone out. So this is the very good work has been done by the stratigraphers or geologists, and this is the part which we have to learn in the FY, and slowly the stratigraphy part will come in SY. Then you go into the detail, then we have a TY, then MSc you will have the world stratigraphy. So that will be the part will be there. But now today for the FY, we have to just restrict for the fossils, how they are there and how they are classified. So FISA, we have the fossil is there. Yes, phylum Mollusca, class Gastropoda, genus FISA, and range Tertiary. Yes, this is what we have the fossil. Remember, that has been specially mentioned because this is we have a fossil is there. Shell is petrified. Yes, then biconical. What is a biconical? Means if you make the two triangle, yes, one triangle on this and exactly reverse triangle on the other side. So it is the biconical, double triangle is there. So in the theory, when you are going to have this video, you'll see the various forms of gastropods. So that will be we are going to study, but and that will be a separate question will be there for 8 marks. Forms of gastropods. There are number of forms are there. You have to write down the forms and draw the diagram. Just label it out. No need to describe. The examiner will be know that whatever once you have drawn the diagram, he understood that what you have written drawn. That means you understood that. So this is the way the labeling has done. No problem. Whatever you're going to see. This is a biconical one. Body wall is a very large as compared to the spiral wall, and they're going to make the acute angle, obtuse angle. Nuclear wall, that is the spiral wall is there, aperture is there in the center, outer limb, inner limb, yes, body wall, spiral wall. This much we have to write down about this one. Sinistral coiling is there. Yes, that is the very important one, and uh, smooth, obtuse, that is there. So this is the part will be there. You can see now, sinistral one part. Yes, next one, Phylomollusca class cephalopods. Yes, the third class we are going to have. In this earlier one, gastropods, we have seen two, Turritella and FISA. And in the lamellibranch, we have seen three, Arca, Uniopecten, then Turritella and FISA. This is the way you have to remember. Now, in the cephalopod, again, the shell is in the form of coiling. Yes, here coiling has been taken place instead of single axis. Now here it is in the plane. The coiling has been taken place in the plane, and this is the model we have been brought it from one of the vendor, and very good glass model he has prepared. He has given a full nautilus and cuttings of the nautilus, and this will be the I think we have been brought last 6 7 year back, and he has around about 5,000 he has been charged. So this is a very costly. So here we can see the detail what we are going to have. It is the penny-spiral coiling is there. Yes, this is what we have the aperture where the animal is living, and this is the siphuncle canal. And as the animal is evolved now, This siphuncle is right from periphery towards the center. It is been shifting now. So here we don't have to study the evolution, but the evolution part will be there in the TYBSc. But siphuncle now, whatever the nautilus we are going to see, the siphuncle opening is there in the center, and this is the canal, siphuncle canal. This is the septa what we have, septum we called as. This will be joined. It is not in the straight line, it is in the curvatures we are going to make out. And there will be a very important one, coilings. You can see in this siphuncle canals will be there. Yes, this will be a very good one. It is made up of calcium carbonate. Very good shining part is there. This is the suture lines which we are going to septa. When it is joined to the external, it is going to show you some suture line on the top. So there are the important question will be asking on the cephalopods. Every time you have to be prepared. Types of suture lines. The primitive one is called as goniatitic suture line, where the whatever the wave like a pattern is there, right from inner to the external. This what we have, the septa is there, external suture line. When we are going to see on the outer side, we are going to see the from the inner to outer how he is going to make a wave like a pattern is there, and the trough and crust they are the smooth. Then that particular typical fossil goniatite, it is going to show you this type, so it is called as goniatitic suture line. But still in the next one there is a little bit advanced evolution has been taken place. So whatever the trough part is there, it is double folded, it is now crenulated. So upper crust is remain same, but the lower one is crenulated. So that will be seen in a particular ceratite suture line. But in the third one, in ammonites, which are there, the most evolved one, in that all the crust and trough they have been tertiary folded, all are folded. So that is the ceratitic sutures. So we have goniatitic suture line, ceratitic suture line, and ammonitic suture line. So this is what we have. The suture lines are there. So this is what we have the description. And in this, the next important question is that define. Yes, there will be three different types of coiling is there in that particular cephalopod. The first one is evolute coiling. Evolute coiling. What is the evolute coiling? From the starting point, that is the protoconch. From the protoconch, whatever the coiling has taken place in a single plane, you can see now here all the worlds you can see very clear. All worlds are very clear from the starting point to the end point. All are you're going to see with your own eyes. Then it is called as evolute type of coiling. It is called as evolute type of coiling. Next one you can see now only partly you're going to see some of them. Partly it is covered. Yes, partly it has been covered. The inner starting points have been covered by the last word. Then partly you're going to see of that particular words. Then it is called as convolute type. And the third type, that the last wall is going to completely cover the inner walls. You could not see anything in that. So it is the involute. So what nautilus is there, it is coming into this part. So evolute, convolute, and involute. This will be asking in the theory for 1 marks. And here we have the section we are going to pick out. Yes, these are the tubercles which are there. Siphuncle canal is there. How it will be taken place is the calcium carbonate. Yes, so it will showing you the what the rainbow color structures will be there. That is twinkling is there, that we are going to see when we are making the cross section. Shining is more, that we are going to see of that particular part. So here we have a description now. Mollusca is the phylum, class is a cephalopods, and genus is a nautilus, and Triassic to present. It is there from Triassic to present. It is a calcareous. Yes, we have discussed that. It is a calcium carbonate, calcareous shell. Yes, shell is there. It is not fossil. More or less globulous. Yes, globule is there. Spiral whorl, few coil, and one plane penispiral. Along the single plane is a coiling has taken place. Umbilicus usually small, absent. You can see, could not see the inner part which is there. Shell is divided into number of chambers by the septas. But now we could not take. If you take the cross section, then only you can see the septas. But there are the septas are more, because due to the septas we are going to get the suture line which are there on the top. That will going to reflect that there are the number of septas are more. Now here body chamber, the last wall which is there, animal which is living, that is the body wall where we have the siphuncle opening is there, aperture is simple, yes, and siphuncle runs throughout the central neck is there, short and directed towards the retinophenid. So from the starting point to the last, it will be there. Yes, you can see here now this coiling which will go into that part. Yes, you can show here in this diagram I have shown you. Yes, this is the diagram which we have been drawn, siphon canal septum. Yes, now this particular part, if you may turn it out and you can see now, the siphungal canal will be there in the center that has been shown with this particular diagram. So this is what we have, the nautilus part. Yes, this is the first one, ceratite. This is the first cast fossil. Yes, we don't have the fossil. So with the clay we are prepared. Yes, the mold is there, whichever the vendor is there. He is borrowing this particular, those who are the making this particular fossil, they have the mold is there. In that mold, they put the clay, press it out, and they take it out, and after that they color it out, and whatever the morphology is there, they will draw the morphology, and with that we are going to get the cast. So this is the cast one, ceratite. Whatever the specimen is there in our lab, it is the cast is there. Mollusca is the phylum, class is Cephalopoda, genus is Ceratide, and range is Triassic. Yes, the Muschalk we called as in the uh, part, but we in India we are normally restrict for the Triassic one. So that way that comes under the world stratigraphy part. Triassic. Now I can see the description. Cast. This is the first one. Shell, whatever you are going to see, it is a cast one. Discoidal. Yes, discoidal. It is a penispodal, but in that shape is like a disc. Discoidal. On the both side, ribs are present. You can see these are the ribs are there. Yes, ribs are there on the outer margin. External margin is broad. Yes, when you are going to draw this one, the thickness will be a very broad outer side. Umbilicus moderately large. You can see this umbilicus is mod. You can see it is a broad one. Body chamber short. Ceratite suture line. Yes, we are going to see in that whatever line. Now we are not clear. You can see whether we are going to see in our specimen it is there. We will see clearly. And lobes and suture lines. That is serratic suture lines are there. Saddle broadly rounded. Lobes are dentatic. So that is the we are seeing in that ceratite. Yes, that will be a yes. Here you can see now that part is there. We have drawn the diagram. Yes, this is what we have the part fossil we have, and these are the goniatic suture line, serratic suture line, ammonetic suture line. So that also I have covered here, and I think this is covered now. Whatever the first practical is there, in that practical we are going to see the phylum Mollusca, and in that Mollusca, the first one we have seen the Lamellibranchia or Pelecyopida, and there we have seen the first one Arca, second one Unio, then we have seen Pecten. Then the next one we have seen Phylum Mollusca, class we have seen Gastropoda, and in that we have seen again two. One Turritella, second one is Physa. Then in the last one, Phylum Mollusca, class Cephalopods, and that also we have seen two. The first one we have seen Nautilus shell we have seen, and the last one is the Ceratite is the cast. I hope this is clear. Uh, I think you enjoy my video. Thank you. Have a nice day. If you like my video, kindly press the like button, share this video with your friends, students.